This is the Yankees POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the New York Yankees. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, happy Friday, everyone. For some reason tonight in the Bronx, in a 2-2 game in the 10th inning, Aaron Boone decided to go to Devin Williams. The predictable mistake cost the Yankees. They lose 5-3-10. As we said, it was 2-2 when Williams came in. It was 5-2 Astros when they left. Those 3 runs in the top of the 10th to ultimately win the game. Also had a home run featuring 2 men on base. Taylor Trammell, the immortal one, a 2-run shot, basically put this one out of hand. Now, the Yankees did score a run in the bottom of the 10th, but obviously it wasn't enough. They lose 5-3-10, and they continue to lose ground in both the division and the wild card race. Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Glad to have you aboard. Please follow me on X as well, at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees postcast, both on the Locked On Yankees YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The postcast is what we do here after every single Yankee game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your very first purchase. And away we go after yet another crushing defeat.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So the Astros scored the first 2 runs of the game. And then the Yankees scored the next 2 runs of the game to get things back even. We would stay that way all the way into the 10th inning when, of course, as we said, things changed. Taylor Trammell, the immortal one, as we said, it's a 2-run shot that pads an already one-run lead for the Astros. And, of course, it comes against Devin Williams. Plenty to go, plenty to get to in regards to Devin Williams and exactly what it means moving forward. Unfortunately, Aaron Boone seemed to be the only one tonight who didn't realize that Devin Williams should not pitch in a high leverage situation. To be honest, I thought we knew that before tonight. Well, if you didn't know it before tonight, now you really do. And we're looking at you, Aaron Boone. Devin Williams from 2022 through 2024, and we've told you about this number before, it keeps getting worse. The last 3 years with the Brewers as the closer, so really all high leverage situations, 26 earned runs, 1.66 ERA over 141 innings, 141 innings. Devin Williams this season with the Yankees in 44 innings has 28 earned runs. His ERA is nearly 6. And now, moving forward, hopefully this is the last time, at least for a while, that we see Devin Williams in what we deem a high leverage situation. Now, tonight was certainly that, and we were certainly surprised. But Aaron Boone in his post-game presser just said that he was avoiding Bednar and avoiding Leiter Jr. So, who would they have gone to? Possibly Tim Hill and possibly Mark Leiter Jr., although he did say he was likely going against using Leiter. Still, De Los Santos, Duvall, Weaver, and Williams had all pitched. So again, it could have been Tim Hill in that situation, which certainly would have made more sense. Now, what's also interesting about Williams is he's absolutely coming in at times where the Yankees cannot afford a crushing defeat. Unfortunately, that's exactly what has happened. Williams in the last 3 losses has featured either a blown save from Williams or a loss from Williams. So he's lost the last 3 games. Monday gave up a game-tying home run to Jock Peterson. They lost in the 10th. On Tuesday, gave up a go-ahead 2-run single to Rowdy Tellez in the 8th. They lost 2-0. Tonight, he gives up the 3 runs, admittedly only 2 earned because one of them was the ghost runner. However, if we rewind just a little bit, the very first pitch of the 10th inning with the ghost runner, who was Altuve at second base, he throws to the backstop. So one pitch, Altuve's at third base. Now, at the very least, the Astros were going to get out of Dodge with 1 run. Unfortunately, Williams then decided to give up the home run to Trammell as well, making a 3-2 game 5-2 and essentially putting it out of reach, despite the fact that the Yankees had 2 tries in the bottom of the 10th with a runner up in tying position to score to tie the game. Again, that obviously did not work, and the Yankees lose. They are now 61-55. Now, Cleveland won tonight, so they are now a half game behind the Yankees for that final wild card spot in the American League. Now, the Blue Jays play tonight. At the moment, the Yankees are 7 back of the Blue Jays, so they've already lost a half game today. If Toronto wins, it would be 7.5. But at this point, forget the division, forget the Blue Jays, forget the Red Sox, focus on the wild card. As we said, Cleveland is now just a half game back of the Yankees for that second wild card spot in the American League. So as we said, Devin Williams absolutely killing the Yankees. However, can we please back up the truck and suggest to Aaron Boone at some point to not put Devin Williams in the game at any point from the 7th inning or later? We'll make that a rule. From the 7th inning on, no Devin Williams, at least not until he proves it. All right, Cam Schlittler, how did he pitch? Well, the starters were good, not great. Schlittler, 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks through 97 pitches. The home runs have sort of been a problem. Schlittler, 6 home runs allowed in 5 starts. 3 of the 6 have come in the first inning. That includes the 2-run shot to Jose Altuve on the 5th pitch of the game. 2 pitches tonight convinced me the Yankees weren't going to win. Now, it doesn't mean they couldn't. Just had me thinking at that point in time, bad news. The 5th pitch of the game from Schlittler to Altuve, who hits the home run, right then and there. Despite all the boos, Altuve shows up again, stings the Yankees again, had a bad feeling. Then, as we said, the first pitch of the 10th inning with the ghost runner on second, who just happened to be Altuve, the first pitch Devin Williams throws to the backstop on a fly. So the ghost runner moved to third. He was going to score no matter what. And, of course, then the Trammell home run, and it was ugly. Again, 5-3. The Yanks are now 61-55. They're 34-23 at home. But as we said, more importantly, forget the division for the next couple of days at minimum. They're just a half game in front of Cleveland. And, of course, Texas is right there as well. The good news about that Texas series is that the Yankees take the season series from Texas 4 games to 2. So they own the tiebreaker. Unfortunately, they don't own the tiebreaker against everybody. So they're going to have to start winning games. As we said, a half game back are the Guardians from the Yankees. All right, so the Yanks, believe it or not, had beaten the Astros 9 of the last 10 regular season matchups. Of course, we're not counting any of the postseason matchups we've seen over the last couple of years between the Yankees and the Astros. But again, they had beaten the Astros 9 of the last 10 games in the regular season. Well, they lose tonight. By the way, the Astros are now 65-51. Yet another wonderful season for the Astros, despite the fact that they've had injuries as well. Yordan Alvarez has been out since May, and they continue to win. As for the lineup, Trent Grisham had an 0-for-5 night. Ben Rice had 2 hits. No other Yankee had more than 1 hit. In fact, Aaron Judge had a hit. Anthony Volpe had a hit. And Austin Wells had a hit. That was it for the Yankees. Again, De Los Santos, Doval, and Weaver all pitched scoreless baseball tonight. Unfortunately, Devin Williams did not. Williams threw just 16 pitches, 13 for strikes, and right there might be the problem. Everything he throws is down the middle. Everything is getting punished. All right, we'll take a quick break. We still have to do probables, but we have a huge update on the possibility of a very interesting Yankee lineup tomorrow. We'll tell you what that is coming up next. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Well, maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, up next is Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up and college football isn't far behind. It's the perfect time to lock in your season-long more or less picks for the 2025 football season, all before week 1 kicks off. Whether you've got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. Yeah, I've used Prize Picks for a few seasons now, and I love how simple it is. I can get a lineup in before my coffee finishes brewing. Preseason picks help me get a feel for how the year could go. It's like a fun warm-up for the full season. The flex play option is a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you still doubled my money. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, we are back. And as we say, after a Yankee loss, it stings, but we've got to do it. So here goes.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, Ben Rice had 2 hits, and he has been locked in. It's interesting. Grisham, Rice, the top 2 in the order tonight, and certainly a lineup that Aaron Boone has become comfortable with. Well, Ben Rice has fit in nicely, despite the fact that he's only hitting .232 average-wise. Ben Rice did have his 19th double of the season tonight. So 2 more hits for Ben Rice. We'll give him the game ball. And he's playing first base when he knows he's also the backup catcher. So there's a lot of pressure there. Very interesting times for Ben Rice. At first, with Judge returning, I thought they might put him in the 2-hole. But against righties, with Grisham leading off and Ben Rice playing, and obviously sitting Paul Goldschmidt, Rice is a good fit in that 2-hole. Again, Judge returning, just an RBI single tonight. Still hasn't hit a home run since his return. You got to wonder how he's feeling. Meanwhile, Giancarlo Stanton is likely to play the outfield tomorrow. Aaron Boone said before the game today, quote, a good chance that Stanton plays the outfield tomorrow. Keep your fingers crossed out in right field. Austin Slater's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with that hamstring strain. That's a big blow. Meanwhile, Fernando Cruz and Ryan Yarbrough will face live hitters on Sunday as they attempt to get back as soon as they can. Probables for the rest of the series, we've got most of them. Tomorrow, an excellent pitching matchup. Luis Gil and Framber Valdez, he goes for Houston. Max Fried will go on Sunday for the Yankees. Still no word yet on who's going to start for Houston. But again, Hopefully at that point in time, it's the rubber game of 3. The Yanks do have the advantage on Sunday with Fried, but again, Valdez and Heel tomorrow should be extremely interesting. All right, thanks for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also want to mention our partners in crime at Locked On Yankees, the great Stacey Goudsoulias and Brian McKeon. Again, all the stuff at Locked On Yankees is there, so follow, subscribe, and enjoy. Yanks lose another crusher, 5-3 to the Houston Astros. They just can't seem to get out of their own way, specifically in the bullpen, specifically Devin Williams. And it wasn't a second guess tonight when Boone went to Devin Williams. Yours truly said right away, this is not good. First pitch of the 10th inning to the backstop. Allows the ghost runner, Jose Altuve, to go from second to third with one pitch. And, of course, he scores, then the 2-run homer, and the Yanks were done. Again, they lose 5-3. They are now just a half game up on the Cleveland Guardos for the final playoff spot in the American League, that final wild card spot. Meanwhile, if the playoffs started right now, which, of course, they don't, but we love to do this, it would be the Yankees and the Astros. The Astros would be the 3 seed. Yanks would be the 6. So all 3 wild card games would be in Houston. Interesting times. Interesting times. Part of me wants to avoid the Astros just because of recent memory, but the other part of me wants the Astros. To beat the best, you got to beat the best. So we'll see what happens. But again, let's make the playoffs first. Again, 5-3 the final score in 10 as the Yanks lose, and they lose ground in both the division and the AL wild card race. Again, 2-day games, Saturday and Sunday. See you soon.